Early holiday savings have arrived at Tanger Outlets. Discover the best gifts from your favorite brands, perfect for everyone on your list. And stack your savings with up to 70% off, plus an extra 15 to 25% off only during Tanger Style. Save at Polo Ralph Lauren, Old Navy Outlet, Under Armour, Skechers, J. Crew Factory, and more. Hurry in. These early holiday deals last through November 24th. Tanger Outlets. More savings, more cheer.
Wrestling art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock.
Hi there, friends. This is a weird little thing. I'm a bit out of the habit, but I think you have stumbled across another episode of Wrestling Art with Chris Things. This is the show. This is my podcast, I guess. My little old nonsense session where I talk about some wrestling art. I talk to other wrestling artists sometimes, and other times like this, I talk about my favorite matches that I happened to watch that week, that I made arts of, and it became my Chris Things match of the week, and that's what this deal is. So yeah, it's a bit weird. It's been a hot minute. The thing was, I went away on holiday with my dad to Vietnam. Bloody delightful. It's an amazing place. I'm a big fan of Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations, of all of his different travel shows, and I think that was a big part of when Dad was like, "Hey, want to go to Vietnam?" Like, yeah, and man, it did not disappoint. It was even better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, but then so I was over there, and then we had this Chris Things Matches of the Week Year 1 book idea thing that I wanted to sort of announce and release once we got to the full year of this thing. And yeah, so while I was over there, I was just editing this book, adding everything together. Like in my mind, I was like, you had pretty much everything written up for the most part, had all of the art done. So I'm like, I just have to whack it together, right? No. the whole editing process of doing a book like that, it's a bit of a thing. So I was doing that, trying to keep up with new, fresh matches of the week while I was over there. There was a point where I was in this Vietnamese hotel room in Hanoi. I'd actually just gone to like a jazz club, and I was like, "Oh shit, I've got a match of the week to do." I rushed back and was doing this on in some hotel room, and yeah, but I was making sure to keep that going. But then, on the other hand, I took a bit of a break with this podcast because I wasn't gonna be able to do it over there, and I didn't want to sacrifice a holiday to keep doing this thing. And I hope you guys understand. I hope you'll haven't just been like, all right, we're done. This is enough of a break. That's finished in my life now. But no, I'm back. It feels slightly odd because I've had a bit of break from the rhythm, but I'm back. I now have a shit ton of these matches of the week to get caught up on. So in this episode, I'm gonna have my dear pal David on in a little bit later, and we're gonna talk with the first two of them. Amazing Gladiator Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka FMW match that I adore. And the amazing, Euphoria mask loss from the big CMLL Anniversary show. So very excited about that. But man, that's just two, and then I got so many more to do. I mean, I actually ended up to give you guys an idea of how crazy hectic things are right now. I recorded this last week with David, and I just didn't have time to do the things to fix the audio and all the things you have to do for a podcast to get that done last week. So this is the closest thing I got around to. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it out this week at least. And then between those two things, last weekend I had Lucha Fantastica on Friday night at Brisbane, which is always a fun time. I'm so stoked to be part of that, to have Senor Fantastico have me and my art table out, hawking my wares at his shows. Then we had Wrestling Club this past week back at Scratch, the second ever event at Scratch. And that was just so bloody lovely. It seems like we're getting sort of a new little kind of family of regulars at this Scratch versions of the Wrestling Club, which makes me very happy. It's just me playing some weird matches that I feel are for fun, and maybe some stuff that other people might not have seen. But it's a fun vibe, and I play some silly stuff in between, like try to add in some weird little like kind of TV commercials, kind of try to like capture the vibe of the tape trader kind of thing that I grew up on, of like getting some wrestling show that's been recorded on who knows what VHS, and maybe one match after another or whatever. But yeah, I added some weird stuff like the Max Headroom kind of like segment from that like TV interruption that happened, of that like the hackers that I think it happened in Chicago or something. Where they like hacked into an episode of something, and just had some weird nonsense that ended up with a bare ass spanking on national television and a like FBI thing. But that's the kind of nonsense I'm all about. But it was super fun. And it's so nice just to get that support from people, So I'm having fun with that. Then I was actually setting up today. So that's why this episode is going to be coming out so late. I was setting up. I've got Supernova this weekend, which is going to be a massive 3-day event, kind of like an Australian version of Comic-Con, that kind of deal. So it's a bit of an experiment, right? So I don't know whether this is going to be my audience as like an art dude who makes, wrestling oriented art much of the time. So I don't know whether they're going to be my people. But what I've found with this art thing so far is you kind of have to just try different things, go out on a limb and just see how it goes. And sometimes I do these things and it's not a great result. And it just I sometimes feel like that meme of Virgil, wrestling superstar, just sitting there alone at his table. No one gives a shit. And I'm just there on my own. But then other times, I'm just blown away by the amazing support that I get from people, and having some fantastic chats, and people saying super nice stuff about my art, and it giving me sort of the renewed confidence to keep on going. So you get all in between. And I've been doing this long enough now to where I'm like trying to not be so bummed out, I guess, when the things don't go great. You have to be able to kind of pick yourself up, like we've spoken about before. But it's hard sometimes. It's easier said than done. But at least I haven't done a decent number. I'm like, there's going to be good ones, there's going to be bad ones. You just have to keep doing it, because you never know, and you always have to keep putting yourself out there, as hard as that might be. If you're wanting this to be a thing, I'm attempting to make this my full-time career, so that's what I have to do, and I'm happy to do it. So I'm excited and scared for this weekend at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre. But we'll see how it'll go. I'll keep you posted next time. And this is also kind of special because that's like the in-person element of the book launch of Chris Things Match of the Week Year 1. This is kind of the in-person part where they're officially going to be on sale. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if, again, I might be signing a whole bunch of books. We'll see how we go. But I really wanted to make sure today to say a massive thank you, because I think this is my first time I've spoken to y'all since all this like book release pre-order stuff has come out. But I have been so blown away by the amount of people that have like made pre-orders of the book, and who've supported and who bought this thing. It's been like over a year now of doing this match of the week deal where I post my favorite match every Friday Australian time. Rain, hail, or shine, and a lot of it I do it for myself to kind of have something to do and have a regularity and to have something that I'm proud to keep doing. So it is kind of for me, but obviously I also do it for you guys. And from when I hear that people dig it or people, I've been blown away of like you guys that have told me that you've gone and tried to watch like all of the matches of the Match of the Week series. And yeah, people that have like bought the different prints, some people that have bought like the original like hand drawn pen drawings that are the start point of these matches of the week, the one and only original, which blows me away that people would want that and want to spend that much money for them. But it's very, very touching. So yeah, it feels, I don't know if I'm quite going to be able to put into words like kind of the deal of getting to this point, but I wanted to do something special for it, and that's what the book is. Trying to, I guess, make it a thing. And I wrote a little forward in it and thank yous and stuff. So I hope you guys dig it. And yeah, it's again blown me away by how many people have done pre-orders and everything like that. And that's the reason why I was like, I want to do something special. I want to give something back. So I did like this little bonus thank you Match of the Week art print that I've been giving everybody. So I've hit everyone up with an email of that. Most of you all have gotten back to me on that. If you haven't, please check your junk or hit me up so you don't get that email. Because I want to get you your print when I send out your book. But I think that's about it. I think we're ready for some Match of the Week action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a bloody hot minute since I did one of these. So see if I remember how to actually do it. But this is our Match of the Week deal, and I would like to welcome to the show my dear pal, I'd say my best friend in the whole wide world, David, back to the show to talk about some lovely matches.
Hello, all. Good morning.
Dude, it feels so weird. Like, this is the first one back after the Vietnam trip, and then shit's just been wild since I got back. So it's a little bit later than I would have hoped to resume this thing, but we're here now, and that's what counts, right?
We've been busy. It's been a busy week. It's been a busy couple of weeks.
It has. I've had a book come out. I've just got the new bookie books that have arrived, and I'll be ready to start sending out. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've heard just fresh off of a bloody Lucha Fantastica weekend in Melbourne. Another Lucha Fantastica show on Friday night, tomorrow night in bloody Brisbane. And then next week we've got Wrestling Club, so it's all happening.
No, I'm very jealous. So we should go to Lucha Fantastica shows. I love it. I never got a chance to go to one. Like,
yeah, I have a foggy memory. A million years ago, when we used to live together in that apartment in West End, we go to one at the old Boundary Street markets? Was that like a million years ago version of Lucha Fantastica?
Was it West End or was it Newmarket? Are you thinking of the Newmarket one that we did in the back of the brewery?
I definitely remember us doing that one, but no, there was one I remember going to that had like Victor doing his amazing Mexican ring announcing, and everyone wearing fake luchador masks, and very, very early version maybe of what is the magic of Lucha Fantastica now.
I just can't remember.
Yeah, I remember watching it from a rooftop while sinking some tinnies. Fond memories.
Sinking some tinnies. No, I can't remember.
Oh well.
Been a while ago.
How has life been for you, my friend? It's been a hot minute since we've caught up properly.
No, just busy, but pretty much the same old. Just been watching matches and renovating bathrooms. That's pretty much it.
Living the life.
Living the life, living the bloody UK dream over here. God, what a dream it is.
What
What about you? You've been busy.
Yes. I'm just longing for your return, man. One of these days, whenever it happens. That's all I'm doing. My living my days in and out, just waiting. Like, all right, one more day off the calendar till David gets back.
It's gay in the best possible way, Chris.
Yeah, as it bloody well should be. For all of our listeners, I'm not sure if I've ever shared this story, but there was one beautiful moment that I often think back of when it comes to David and I's friendship, where both of us, it was a New Year's Eve. Both of us were in quite unhappy relationships at the time, and we decided that when that clock struck midnight, rather than make out with our partners, we decided it just felt more right to do a bloody good old mate kiss.
Just be each other's good luck for the new year, and
Exactly.
It did not go down well with our respective partners.
The significant others did not seem to appreciate it.
No, not at all. Anyway, you reap what you sow.
No regrets. I feel like everything shook out the way it was meant to with those things, you know?
Yeah, I feel like we've had a very long and prosperous relationship.
Yeah, longer than either of those things happened, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck them. Who needs them? Not me. I got everything I need right here.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Yeah. All right.
Little walk down memory lane for our listeners there. Hope you enjoy that. Otherwise, we have some graps to talk about. Again, I feel so out of habit for this. But man, I've been away and whatever, and now we got so many of these matches of the week that are piled up. And it could have been an easier decision for me to just be like, you know what, we're just starting with the current one of the week that we're at, and whatever gets missed. I'm far too much of a completionist to allow for such things. So we'll be ticking off 2 today, and then I think I've still got another 4 to get caught up on. So we'll see what I do in the coming weeks. But at least for these 2, it's been cool going back to them, rewatching them in preparation for this chat. Feels like a bloody lifetime ago when I watched that CMLL Anniversary show this past year with that fantastic 4-way mask elimination match. Rewatching that just was such a delight, and somehow it was even better than I remember. And then same for this terrific Gladiator Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka match. That was the main event of the last of the wrestling club events. So I am very excited to chat about both of these with you, my friend, and I'm looking forward to see just out of the blue what were your initial takeaways of this duo of matches.
Well, I hadn't seen the anniversary. I haven't watched that match from the anniversary show. I'm pretty sure I've watched a match from it though. But yeah, because it wasn't too long ago. It wasn't that long ago.
It officially was September, which seems wild. Seems like it was a lot longer time ago than just merely September. But yeah,
because I remember I was going to try and wait so we could see if we could try and watch it together. But I think it's just one of those things where life just gets in the way and gets away from you. But yeah, oh mate, I was so excited to watch it. Getting to see my man Hechicero in a Mars versus March match.
Oh man, I mean, the one thing I'll say about that show, if you're talking about that show as a whole, You can safely be like, this was the main event of the show.
Yeah.
Do not watch anything further on this show after
No.
this match finishes. I still, just such a puzzling decision for them to have been like, you know what? We've got this incredible, massive, special mask versus mask apuestas match that everyone really cares about, and we're going to main event the show, bringing in Chris Jericho. I like Jericho, probably unlike most other people these days, but man, that match was not it, and that match should not have been in the main event position.
I'm going to say, after watching this match and looking down and then still seeing time on the clock for like the rest of the show, I was like, nothing's going to follow this. Whatever follows this is going to be questionable. But no, that's not fun to hear. But still, I'm just happy that Van Hechicero put on a great match.
Oh man, and I love this because in addition to it being such like a spotlight on Hechicero, on how fucking amazing Hechicero is, and I honestly feel like of all the great shit he's had this year, he's probably my wrestler of the year at this point. I don't think anyone's had a more impressive year than Rey Hechicero. But I mean, I thought this was so awesome for Euphoria. Like, he's been a dude that I've been a fan of, like, for quite a while, but he's always been, like, the backup player, you know? He was always part of, like, Los Guerreros, you know, teaming with Ultimo Guerrero and Gran Guerrero, or, you know, he's always been one of those real solid rudos that just carries things, but he doesn't look that spectacular in and of himself, because I guess that's not his role. So it's so cool to see, you know, him in a spot like this, where it's like, it's kind of celebrating, you know, him. And also, I was not prepared for, once that mask came off, that he is a little bit of an older gentleman than I would have thought with the mask on, you know?
But I think that's just one of those things in, like, Lucha Libre. It's the longevity of the wrestlers. Like, their wrestling style, like, because they wrestle so often. They wrestle, like, and they just wrestle for years on end, and it's a job where they can just keep going and going because they do take care of each other because of the style of it. It's not like a British strong style, a Japanese strong style, all that kind of stuff. It's different. It's its own, like, flavor of wrestling, and then it allows the wrestlers to perform.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not the big, like, hard hitting, you know, let's headbutt each other, let's head kick each other like 40 times in a row. There's, like, there's a lot more art to it, or there's their own kind of art in it. I really like seeing it. I really like it. Means more to me doing, like, a mask versus mask match for wrestlers like that who have built their career for so long, and then, you know, and then they get celebrated at the end like that. Like, you look out at the crowd, and there's one point where I don't know if it's his mum or something, but or it might be his wife. I don't know, his Euphoria seems like it's got a couple of years under his belt, but where they're crying, like, the audience is crying because they're so invested in these people, because, you know, their mask has been part of them. You know, some of those kids will have that mask up on their wall.
It's their identity.
But yeah, like, so you see his mask come off, and you see, like, you know, he's not exactly a youthful guy, but it makes me feel, like, really happy that the guy's been able to do what he loves up until, and, like, obviously still going.
Yeah,
but
and to a
do what
very
he
high
loves.
level.
Yeah, like, no, it's bloody great. I love seeing it. I love seeing when the mask comes off and you see, like, a guy who's, like, you know, wrestled his years. I think it's really great. And then, like, you know, losing your mask to Hechicero, that's, like, you know, there's no better way to let go of it. I mean,
exactly.
How many people would you rather give it up to? Like, imagine him, or, like, someone like Atlantis. Like, you know, you'd be bloody honoured.
Yeah, I love. I think, yeah, what you said there. I think the like, the idea of a mask match, like, you in the rest of the world of wrestling, you know, it's like you wrestle for a belt, and that's a big deal. But, like, that's, you know, any belt is nothing compared to, like, winning a guy's identity, you know? Like, to me, that the bounds of like a big apuestas like mask matches is so much bigger than like any championship match in the rest of wrestling. So it's just one of those reasons where mask matches are always so special to watch, and I love them.
Yeah, 100%. It's like mask versus hair, all that kind of stuff. Like, you're literally like changing someone's identity for the future. Like, they're never going to put that mask back on. They might, they might grow their hair out, they might do something else, but you're changing like a person's mask. You're changing a person's identity for the rest of their career, essentially. Yeah,
like it's got consequences. It's like a real significant, thing. And there's an actual commission that upholds the rules that these dudes aren't allowed to wrestle in that mask again anymore. Sometimes they'll give special exceptions, like some of those special matches that Blue Panther has had this year, where they've allowed him to put the mask back on for that match. But yeah, generally speaking, it's like you are not actually allowed to do that, and I think that's another thing that makes it feel so impactful. But one of the other wild things in the post match of this, I guess we're talking about the end before the start, but whatever, we're free flowing kind of dudes.
Okay. This is one of those Donnie Darko moments where he's going to die at the end, and then go all the way through it anyway.
Yeah, we work out how we ended up here. But like the post match, especially with his did you know Soberano Jr. is his son?
No.
Yeah.
No. They're all fucking wearing masks, Chris.
So I assume the lady in the crowd was probably maybe Soberano Jr.'s mum, maybe Euphoria's baby mum or whatever, I don't know. But
baby mama.
But yeah, that was another really cool bit of the post match of like that moment between like a father and son, and Soberano Jr. was giving his dad a hug and helping him like get through it, and sort of taking a moment to breathe to sort of soak up this special moment as well. I noticed Mephisto was there. I'm not sure what part of the family he is, but if anyone cares to look up is it Lucha DB? There's this Lucha Wiki. That's it. Lucha Wiki is a fantastic resource if you want to see the crazy elaborate web of which luchadors are related to one another.
I hope he's just like the devil looming. He's no relation whatsoever. It's just always there.
Yeah, why not?
Just looming.
Bloody not. But yeah, I think this match as well. So a real spotlight for Hechicero too, who, like we said, had a fantastic year. And he was a dude, like not when I first started, but like a while ago when I was like really watching CMLL pretty closely. You started seeing this dude Hechicero, and he'd just like get little bits here or there. I think he was a big name in maybe more of like the Mexican independent scene. He was like quite involved with a company called like Lucha Memes and some other stuff like that. And he was this dude that just did this amazing like Yave style wrestling, but it took him a long time for him to sort of like become a main dude in CMLL. He was sort of like a dude that was like celebrated by the hardcores, but he's never quite pushed as much as like a guy like Roosh or Dragon Lee or Volador Jr. or Mystico or all of these kind of names. So he really like worked his way up, and it felt I think that's why now we see like these incredible crowd reactions to him, because that crowd has been on the journey as well. Like, I don't know, probably some similarities to be drawn with Bryan Danielson and him finally getting to that top position in WWE back in the day, after being like sort of this like hardcore kind of fan favorite. But yeah, I think it's really cool to finally now see Hechicero get his flowers, and especially like all through this match there's Hechicero chants, and then even into the main event that we shouldn't bother speaking about too much more. That whole match with Jericho and Mystico was just full of Hechicero chants, which is pretty bloody awesome.
Oh mate, it's just but this is what I love. Like, there's the wrestlers who are like iconic. They have their big names, like Chris Jericho, and it's still the wrestlers that are like on the underside of the card that are just like the homegrown namestays. They're just like, no, these are the guys we love. These are the ones we want to see.
Yeah.
You know, and then they put on the match like that. Like, that would have been impossible to follow.
Yeah.
Like, it had everything. Like, it had an amazing free for all like lucha libre at the start with all these, everyone kind of exhibiting like their athleticism. Everyone kind of getting like a couple of their moves in. Like, I'm pretty sure like Hechicero hit like a little couple of cool crucifix takedowns in there.
So in addition to both of these guys, before we get talking about too much, this was a what do they call it? A quadrilangular, just bastardized that. Apuestas match, Mascara contra Mascara. But the deal is it's like a 4-way, and so to actually be in the big Apuestas match at Arena Mexico on the biggest show of the year is like a massive honor, right? So the way this works is we have a 4-way, and all 4 men want to be in that Apuestas match, but not everyone can be in the Apuestas match. So you basically have to win the preliminary match. The other guys get eliminated, and then the winners go on to have the honor of being having their mask on the line against one another. So the other 2 gentlemen that we had in this, in addition to Hechicero and Euphoria, was Esfinge and Valiente. And Valiente is another dude that, like, from when I first started watching CMLL, he's been one of my long-time favorites. I think he's been around for a long time. I think it's honestly amazing that he can still do the stuff that he was pulling off in this match. I think a lot of people were thinking going into this match, this was Euphoria's time. This was Valiente's time. When he was finally gonna drop the mask while he was still able to. But I think this ended up being a big old surprise. But the actual match before we got down to the final 2 was bloody awesome as well.
Yeah, just an amazing exhibition of like all their talents. Like, you saw Valiente's like amazing dives. I love how hard he hits them.
Yeah,
I absolutely love. Like, I'm all for like wrestling safety and then having flashy things in there as opposed to, just going balls to the wall and just trying to kill yourself. But Valiente's dive, especially, like, he's a nugget of a human being.
Oh man, I was gonna say it's almost like they're so much more satisfying because he's just such a chunky monkey.
He's just he's a cannonball of a human being. But like him doing that, and then like Esfinge, obviously very very athletic and very good on the ropes. An amazing mask as well. Like, I love Esfinge's look. It's just like something that's a little bit different. And then just watching, like, I think you see like how good Hechicero is throughout the whole match. Like, he's guiding the whole match. Like, in my opinion, in my eyes, he's the one that's like mainly in the ring. He's guiding people around the ring. He's interjecting with all this. He's doing his. I absolutely love his little crucifix takedown thing, where he just like he'll just pop up, crucifix takedown, move some out of the way. The next person running with their spot, they do their bit, and then he'll he'll break it up. He'll reposition the ring. He'll give everyone chances to do the dives, all that kind of stuff. Like, he's just like an absolute ring general, which is amazing to see because it's different. Like, different seeing like a ring general in like American wrestling, like, because you see the like whatever they do, the fucking Royal Rumbles or whatever, where you see someone clearly like guiding it and like, you go here, do your spots here. It works so much better in Lucha Libre, where it's just like, right, we need one person controlling the flow of this match, like controlling the floodgates, what goes where and how fast it comes out. And you just see how good Hechicero is, and obviously the other guys as well. Just like, listen to him, do what he's saying. Let's go here.
Yeah, I was so impressed by, I think, all 3 of the most senior guys in this match. Like, from, I think, Valiente surprised me that he was still able to pull out the stuff that he could, because he had a long time off during COVID, I'm pretty sure, where he was like completely inactive for like a year and a half. Like, I think he got a different job, or I don't know what the deal was, but you didn't see him for a long time, and then he finally came back, and I think a lot of I don't know how old he is, but he's been around for a long time. I think a lot of people had maybe a little bit lower expectations of what he was capable of anymore. And he far exceeded those expectations. I thought like Euphoria looked fantastic for all of this stuff and like making everyone else look so good. but also, yeah, when you actually get to see him on his own sake, he's just a super impressive dude. And yeah, not like I need to say anything good about Hechicero. I think of all four, it was probably Sphinge that I was maybe not that impressed by. But I mean, at the same time, it's like you just look at comparable levels of experience in this, and I think for his level, he did pretty darn good.
Yeah, he like I was pretty impressed with him being able to. I can imagine like not stress. It's not what I'm looking for, but like the pressure, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
I
don't think
being
he's
in a
ever
match like
been
that.
in like basically the biggest main match of the year in Mexico. So it's a lot of pressure to be on his shoulders.
And especially being in like the opening part of like someone else's mask versus mask match. Like you want the whole match to be like perfect, but this person's like, you know, big celebration of their lucha libre life before they lose their mask. You know, you want to be like the best person you can be.
Yeah.
So there's like that added pressure, but I think he did all right. There was like a couple of little bits where, just as like any wrestler feels, where they're just like 2 steps out of position or something doesn't go as fast. I mean, it's a bit more dynamic than Valiente is, so I think there was like a bit of a hiccup there, in one of their spots. But like still, like I think of all of them, like I was super impressed by all of them. Yeah, he was like, I wouldn't say the weak link in it, but you know, he still did really well. It's just looking at the caliber of the other guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And on when I did the rewatch of this one, because I remember just being, you know, in love with this match when I watched it initially, but then when I rewatched it, the thing that really stood out to me was like this match was awesome and had cool stuff going on and was like just made you glued to the screen like from start to finish. And for a match that like I don't have the official dates here, but I feel like this match went at least like 45 minutes from start to finish. Like that's a bloody accomplishment to constantly have you glued to the screen, bring in your attention, have you caring about what's going on, and it somehow just kept going up and up and up, and just building to the absolute perfect crescendo at the end where Euphoria finally taps out to Hechicero.
Yeah. But yeah, there's so many fun little details in this match. Like one my favorite thing was just waiting for another Valiente dive. Like I'm just like, I hit another one, please. I was just like, come out of that rope like cannon. I was just watching for Euphoria's power bombs the whole time. I was just like, of all the moves in Lucha Libre, like it stands out so much. Like if you hadn't watched like other wrestling, you would just say like that is like one of the biggest moves in Lucha Libre. Like that's all the most hard, impactful move. It's just like a sudden stop.
It just looks so painful, dude. Like on this ring that pretty much feels like concrete. Like
there's like no movement in the ring. There's no like whoa, 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 whoa. It's just bang. It's just slap. It's like, you know, when you hear someone like hit their head against the wall and there's no give in the wall. It's just like that's just like a dull thud. You just see that with someone's body, and it's just especially like the top rope ones.
Yeah.
Like as we move into like Valiente and Esfenix, sorry. getting eliminated. And you work your way into the mask versus mask patch, but there's like 3 power bombs in there. There's like top rope power bombs. There's just like a standing power bomb, which is just stiff as hell. And poor Hechicero has to cop all of those. But it's just like some. Also, another favorite bit of mine is a huge spoiler in this, by the way. But Hechicero taking his straps off, and then about 5 minutes later, putting them back on. He's like, I'm not comfortable with that, actually. But yeah, and then just seeing the dynamic between the two, I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah, amazing chemistry between Euphoria and Hechicero. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily expecting that these would be the final 2 in the match, like given all the other stuff with Valiente and everything. So it was such a nice surprise that it was, because these guys just have such a great dynamic together, like both doing the rad Yave submission kind of stuff, but then like ramping it up to, we even right down the finishing stretch, we got some pretty bloody sick like punches between them, like where it sort of like escalated from the sort of like technical kind of clinic to being more of like a heated, hate-filled thing, and the tearing of the masks and everything. Yeah, that's what I mean about like that ramping up of the match and the heat of the match. I thought was so good, and man, like I almost forget to say how bloody crazy hyped and heated the crowd was as well. Dude, that like finally getting to go to Arena Mexico and experience that in person is still going to be like such a bucket list item for me. I gotta do it.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's just the passion behind it as well, and the support for the luchadors.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. So we've got our piece of art.
Oh yes.
Chris's piece of art for this match.
I had a tough time picking the moment for this one, dude. But sometimes when you have a big mask match, you got to pick that big moment. That's the thing that happens at home at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think it's just like, I know you've got a very particular art style, and then most of the time, like the faces that you paint are like either covered in blood or like grimaced, all that kind of stuff. But I think Euphoria's face you caught very well in this. Like, of course, the wisdom and age.
He just has such an interesting face.
He does. He does have a very interesting face. But yeah, I think he caught it really well. There's kind of like the pride in it, but also like the disappointment of losing his mask. But also, he's obviously got everyone cheering for him. But yeah, this looks great. It's Hechicero having his hand raised by Euphoria after Hechicero takes off his mask. Hechicero takes off Euphoria's mask. So very, very good.
Thank you. I one of the things I really was tickled by in that last frame is that obviously Euphoria is unmasking, and it's a big emotional moment for him. It's probably quite sad in some ways, but if anything in that moment it looked like Hechicero was more sad somehow.
Yeah.
Like to be the winner. Like I guess he's there seeing this guy shed so much of his identity for him, so maybe that's a big kind of special deal. But yeah, there was a part where it was just like such a sadness in the winner in Hechicero that I was like, I need to try to capture that. So that's probably the main thing that I look at when I look at this illustration. I'm like, that poor sad winner Hechicero.
Yeah, I did notice you gave him like massive puppy dog eyes. But it's true. It's like it must be difficult. It's like, I suppose that you can equate it to like gladiatorial combat when you're forced to take the life of someone you might have been training and fighting with for years. Again, you're changing their identity. You're changing their identity forever after doing that.
Yeah, you're not quite having to lop their head off, but
No.
Similar.
Same shit. Same shit, Chris.
And the other thing I had to include the tremendous, very unique looking referee that is Edgar Noriega. I just love his entire vibe, and sometimes I include the referees in these things, sometimes I don't. But just the enormous referee and very very cool style of Edgar Noriega, I thought I had to include there as well.
Yeah, I do love like notable points throughout the match where he was just getting more and more intense as the match was, which is great to see from referees how they're invested in it as well. When the two were exchanging points at one, or exchanging strikes at one point, it became closed-handed punches.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting in there. He's like, no punching, no punching. He's trying to like pull them away from each other, like he's getting invested in it.
He's such a good referee.
Like the ending of it. Yeah, like when he finally did count to 3 and he was like fucking jumped up and he's just like, winner, winner, winner. It's just like, oh God. It's like, it adds to the whole dynamic of it. Like, referee is always the third person in the match. And then so, they get invested in it.
Yeah.
And it's always good when they love it as well. So, yeah, no, he did a great job.
Absolutely, and I'll never not love the referee bow tie look. Fancy show. Got a time to dress up. Love it.
Yeah, did very well.
Thank you.
That was a great match.
I agree. I highly recommend everyone check it out. It's not cheap to do so. I had to pay for the tippy top level subscription of CMLL's YouTube deal for this show and this match. Costs like $50 for the month. But I normally just go up when there's a big show, and then bring it back down to that base level in between big shows. So you're only doing that a couple times a year. So I figure it. And for a match like this, I would say this match is worth $50 in and of itself. So
I think if you equate it to when you're a kid and you're watching like the what is it called, WrestleMania, and you get your parents to pay for the pay-per-view, and you're just like, please, Dad, I don't feel like this. You can do this yourself. You can go, oh please me, pay for this. I want to treat myself.
It's a little gift for yourself.
Yeah. Go on. It can be an early Christmas present. Christmas present to yourself. Yeah. Unfortunate about the rest of the show, apparently, but
there was some other good stuff on this show. There was an awesome match with Mascara Dorada and Titan. That was super fun. A couple other tags that were real good. So don't let the bad stuff scare you off. There was some tremendous stuff on this show, and one of I would say on rewatch, I'm like, this might be my favorite match that I've seen this year. So pretty lofty praise there. But now we move on. On the subject of gnarly power bombs. We continue to a match and feud that I would say probably the coolest power bombs in the history of wrestling. Yes, we are back to the Gladiator Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka, this being probably their most epic of their FMW matches in Japan, from the legendary Kawasaki Stadium, the home of all of the massive big FMW shows back in the day, before 50,012 fans, I'm told, for the Brass Knuckles Heavyweight and Independent Heavyweight Double Championship. There are a few matches into their rivalry at this point. Tanaka has not been able to conquer the Gladiator just yet. And yeah, man, September 28th, 1997. This match, I adore.
Yeah, I remember we watched this match, I think when you were still, before I moved in with you, just before I moved in with you, and before we moved to West End. I remember we watched like a couple of Mike Awesome and Tanaka matches in a row.
Because their ECW matches rule so hard as well.
That was just like amazing. There was that massive, like in that there's the similar to this with the signature move and the piece of artwork here. But this is just like a grueling match between two people who if you couldn't guess, just like go absolutely balls to the fucking wall with everything they do. Like Masato Tanaka has like some of the best forearms in the game, and also Mike Awesome just powerbombing the living fuck out of people.
Mike Awesome's offense,
Oh man,
just some of the most fun, awesome offense that any wrestler has ever had. Like between big, massive strikes, like crazy dives, amazing power bombs, power bombing people off the top rope. Like he is he was a beast. I do not understand how anyone does not think Mike Awesome was incredible.
I was going to say, if you like outsiders edges, frog splashes, and then power bombs, you'll see them all within, I think it's about a minute and a half, all performed by Mike Awesome. Literally, like, you know how you think, you know, when you're coming up as a wrestler and you're just like thinking like, oh, what moves do I want to do in an order? I want them to make sense. I want them to be cool. You know, I'll do this and this and this will follow into this. That's a cool little setup. No, just do the biggest moves you can think of. Just do the biggest fucking things. Just do the most impactful things. Going like, you know, I'm going to do a bloody shooting star press, and then I'm going to give him a pile driver, and then I'm going to try and execute him. But like, that was this match. It's just them bringing out the biggest things they can do, because this is like a true rivalry.
Yeah, and this was a batshit insane match. Like I equate it to like one of those awesome like B-grade thriller movies that we used to watch back in the day. These tremendous like 70s thrillers that are just still the fucking Rolling Thunder with Tommy Lee
Rolling
Jones.
Thunder. Tommy Lee Jones, yeah.
One of my all-time favorite movies. This is like a wrestling match version of that. It's like there's not a lot of subtlety going on. It's just a fucking wild thrill ride, minute to minute, but more importantly than anything else, it has an amazing build throughout it, and it teases shit like more than you would expect. Like you look at it in some ways, and you're like, that was just throwing everything against the wall with no rhyme or reason. But when I watch it closely, one of the things that really stands out to me is Tanaka really like building up, him going for that power bomb, like and he goes for that power bomb so many times early on in the match, in the early portion. And it leads to bad things for him. He can't pull it off. And then finally, he eventually gets this fucking powerbomb. And you could not think of in more epic fashion for him to finally hit the powerbomb than giving an awesome bomb to Mike Awesome over the top rope through this tiny, very painful looking table. Fuck, man. Incredible.
He just absolutely axes him. Like he just throws him out of the ring. To be honest, it's not even a powerbomb. He just goes fuck off, dumps him out of the ring. The landing Mike Awesome takes is just somewhat gruesome, but it's part of the match. It's part of the build up to the match. It's just these things aren't hitting clean. Like there's one point in the match where Tanaka comes off the ropes. He just fires back coming off the ropes, and then just throws this like wicked lariat. Just throws his arm out, and it's not a clean hit. Like he doesn't hit all of Mike Awesome, but it's like enough to where Mike Awesome he's just gotten up off the floor, just like stumbles and then topples over. Like just the sheer like force of having Tanaka run through him. But it's great in this match because you see when Tanaka goes for things, Mike Awesome just punishes him.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep him down. He's trying to stop Tanaka from winning. He's trying to stop Tanaka getting his first win over him. He's just punishing him. Everything Tanaka does, he's just like, no, you weren't fast enough with that punch you hit. No, you didn't hit me harder with that. Here's another power bomb. Like, just an amazing build to, eventually Tanaka just hitting off these power bombs, of which he hits a couple.
Yeah, and he hit some gnarly ones in the ring too, like some Kawada looking fucking nasty boy power bombs. I always love those ones where the guys like come down to like one knee kind of thing. It's like
one of the final power bombs in the match. Yeah.
Oh, and I think it's like what you're saying. A lot of my favorite wrestling now, I think, when I go back and watch stuff, it's the stuff that's a little bit rough around the edges. That feels more real and more substantial and more authentic than much of the stuff we see these days that is just so clean and everything's hit like perfectly or whatever. Like,
Yeah, it's just a lot more. It's a lot more passionate and organic. I feel like it feels like people are actually bringing this from a fight place. Like, just like I want to hit you with this. I want to make this hurt. You know, I want to win this match. I want to, and then it becomes more than. Well, sometimes it goes the opposite way, where it's just like, you know, I want to win this match, but more so like I want to make you hurt. You know,
yeah,
I want to make you feel these power bombs. I'm not just doing them and then going straight for a pin. But you know, you watch it, yeah, all throughout this match, you're just seeing two guys just like from the get go, like it literally starts off with like shoving and then just straight into chops and then forearms and you know, and then it shoulder checking each other, and then you're seeing how hard they're trying to run to each other with the shoulder checks. But like, you know, neither of them going down, both of them just like fighting back the whole time. And then yeah, it eventually works up to the fact that they're both just throwing power bombs at each other. Like Mike Awesome takes his awesome bomb through the table.
I mean, we have the bit earlier when Mike Awesome does that gnarly seated power bomb to Tanaka to the outside on the two tables, which was bloody crazy.
That was crazy.
That was one that was close to being my illustration. That looked so sick. Like kind of just looking at the wreckage after that happens of just like both dudes lying, like broken table all around. That was very close to being it.
But that was like the longest. That's like the longest pause in the whole match. Like after that.
Which just goes to show like how they do make an effort to sell this stuff, right? You hear people talk about like the Mike Awesome Masato Tanaka matches, and they're like, oh, no selling, you know, it's the biggest thing. But any good, you know, no selling, like a lot of people say the same thing about Kawada, right? It's like it makes it by the selling that happens in between the no selling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the threshold as well. Like these guys are taking like heavy hitting moves. They're taking a lot of offense, but it's like a move has to be over a certain like degree of wickedness before they'll like stop and go, no, that really hurt. Like there was really a lot of impact in that. And then points like this are what kind of emphasize and highlight it. Like taking those massive moves from the outside or to the outside through like tables and all that kind of stuff. Like this is the degree these two wrestlers are on. This is the degree their rivalry's on, where I have to take like the biggest of the big moves in order to even slow them down. Like that's what you're dealing with. Yeah. And that's what like adds to the match so much. It's just like it's not just oh, we're just throwing these moves at each other. They've had a rivalry. They've had, you know, they've been in matches against each other. They know these other like smaller things won't work. They're not gonna like pants around and like chain wrestle. They're not gonna go for wrist locks, all that kind of stuff. They're just gonna go for what works, which was just, you know, essentially attempting to kill the other guy.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, they're just like, no, we're just going for the kill shot.
Yeah, I think this one coming after like their previous match that they just had was just a bloody banger in Korakuen Hall, which, you know, very different atmosphere. Korakuen Hall versus like a big massive you know, baseball stadium like Kawasaki Stadium. So each one has a bit of a different kind of like vibe to it, but this one does a great job also of like building off of that previous one and escalating it to the next level, which is super cool when you watch the Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka rivalry like match by match. So that was the reason why, you know, I had that previous one in one of the previous wrestling clubs, and then, you know, I thought, all right, we're gonna do this one, but there's no other position, then you have to put it on last. And I was just so stoked with the idea of getting to share something like Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka with like people that might not have ever seen that before. Like that's really what wrestling club is meant to be. Like just showing this freak show shit to people who, you know, might not have seen anything like that before. And it was one of those ones where, yeah, you saw everyone sort of like were watching it, kind of like I felt like people were getting invested and going down that finishing stretch, it did seem like everyone was so stoked when Masato Tanaka finally pulls out the win. And the cool thing is that I even love the finish looking back. You know, you'd think, wouldn't it make sense to end on like a big powerbomb or something like that? But I think it was like even better and more organic the way they did it, where he hits those series of rolling forearms, and that last one
Yeah.
was just so perfect. And then his momentum just falls into the pin, like
Yeah.
that is the real shit, man.
Incredible.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's just like, you see all these amazing power bombs throughout the match, which I think is like the signature move of this match. It's just like both of them attempting to like really hurt the other person, and then hits the power bomb, attempts to lift him up for something else. Mike kind of comes out of it, goes to kick him, and then he just like knocks the boot away, rolls into this amazing forearm, and organically just like falls into this pin. It's like there's the seconds there that count. Like he's just managed to overcome him, and it's one of those things. Like if he didn't hit the pin there and then, would Mike have had the second to recover? And then so it's just because it all happens so fast, you're just like, well, that is actually like the perfect ending. Like you've only got these tiny windows in order to pin this caliber of opponent and this kind of rival. So I thought it was an amazing finish to the match.
And it was like he didn't even like decide to pin him, or it was just like he kind of like fell out of exhaustion into the pin, which was even better. And then the way they sold the victory too, of it being like such a massive moment for Tanaka to finally have gotten the win over this rival of years, I believe, up to this point. And looks like he's really like gotten a massive victory, and that like really means something to him. Like I thought they both sold it so well in the post match as well.
And again, no belt involved, just two dudes.
There were actually two belts involved.
Yeah, but not about the belts. It's not about the belts.
It was more about the interpersonal
about the men.
History, right?
No, it's about the rivalry. Fuck the belts.
Yes.
Title matches are bad matches. I mean, I like some title matches, but it's about the rivalries, which is just so much more important to me. Like a rivalry built like this, where they're just like, no, I just want to hurt the guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the belts. It's about the rivalry.
You're right. The other thing about this one was, so this ended up being number 52 of my my matches of the week. So this was the one that rounded out the full year of doing this match of the week deal every week, making sure I'm posting it every bloody Friday morning here in Brisbane, and doing that every single week. So getting to the final one, I kind of wanted to finish on a high. I wanted it to be like a match that did feel special or had like a special significance. And then also knowing, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm going to be, probably doing this little bookie wook thing here. So it's kind of like the last bit of the book too. So I wanted it to be a good one. So I hope it was in terms of the artwork, but at the very least, it's a match that is very and a rivalry that is very special to me. So we'll see how we go for how any of the future matches might be part of the match of the week or wrestling club or whatever. You'll have to stay tuned. But man, bloody love me some Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka.
Yeah, R.I.P. Mike Awesome. The fucking amazing wrestler. Sad to see him go. But yeah, these series of matches, this series of rivalry is amazing. I was wondering, Chris, on your wrestling club, have you done the Ricky Marvin against Kenta yet?
I did. That was on the first one, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
That was starting it off.
See, I feel like that is like, if you're looking for like intensity over short bursts.
Oh, yeah.
Great stuff.
That's the match that I say, like, that bullshit of like, everyone's like, oh, what match would you show your, someone who's never watched wrestling before? And these assholes out here, like, talking about Okada versus fucking Kenny Omega, like, long bloody matches, like, get the fuck out of town. Like, the match that I would show anyone who's never watched wrestling before is Ricky Marvin versus Kenta in just the craziest 3 to 5 minute match you've ever seen in your life.
Right, it's over and done before you blink, but they pack so much into it. There's genuinely their entire movesets are in this match. It's like 3 fucking minutes. It's great. So many crazy dives, so many crazy hits.
I definitely think we'll have definitely be having more Kenta in the wrestling club. I would say. But yeah,
I feel like you got to build it. You got to build a villain in the wrestling club.
this is true. This is true, and also it's about my taste, right? So I'm fucking making sure every wrestling club has a Terry Funk match in there, one way or the other.
It's gotta have Terry Funk in it. Yeah, throw some Hacksaw Jim Duggan in there for me.
Ooh, there was a pretty bloody incredible Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Buzz Sawyer match that I saw recently, so that maybe that can be part of it. But
yeah, I was actually thinking of that today because one of the streets I'm working on today is Sawyer's Lee. So I was thinking of like Sawyer versus Duggan, and I was just like, should I watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It's a tremendous match.
It's just small things. Every so often you'll drive past like a street here. Just remind me of a wrestling match or something we've seen together. I'm like, oh, I should rewatch that. Oh, I should look at that. I should text Chris about that. Yeah. Old Jim Duggan.
Please, anytime you watch a Tenru match, please let me know.
Yes. Good old Tenru.
And that goes for everyone at home too. Anytime anyone watches a Tenru match, please let me know what it was. just give me notice. I'd like to know.
Just keep me in the loop. What are your opinions on it?
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, if I had social media and anyone's out there watching Nakajima matches, let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Send me a message.
Exactly.
I always want to know about my boy.
Yeah. In lieu of that, send me a message so that I can send it to David, and then David can send his response, and I'll get it back to you. You know, we'll make this work.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. That's probably the easiest way to work this out. Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, dude, I don't think there's anyone that I would have wanted to have on to talk about Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka more than you, my dude. So I'm glad we got to do that together.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's always lovely. It's always a great chat. It's always a great way to wake up. Some coffee and some wrestle chats.
Prepare you for a big day of renovating kitchens. Is that what you got lined up today?
One of them's a kitchen, the other one's a bathroom. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
See if I get one.
Keep me posted.
See if I get both of them or none. Yeah.
Well, just approach it with the bombastic nature of a Mike Awesome and the fighting spirit of a Masato Tanaka.
Well, I do have to rip it apart before I put it back together, so we'll see.
Maybe you can smash part of it over one of your fellow workers' heads like Mike Awesome did with this fucking table.
Yeah. Maybe I can put the client through the kitchen countertop.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, should do it. All right, mate.
All right.
It's been good.
Yo, yeah, thanks so much, man. I always enjoy getting to chat some wrestles with you, and keep me posted on whatever else you watch, or if you ever end up watching one of these matches of the week, and we'll talk about it again.
Will do. Sounds good. Righty, really, mate. I'm off.
See you next time, my friend. Farewell.
All right, I'll see you soon, brother.
Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. All right, bye.
Bye. All right. There we go. What a fine chat with my dear pal David. I love. So when I call David, it's generally my afternoons. His early mornings. He's getting ready for work. So I don't know if y'all have noticed, but because he most of the time it's like making his breakfast, having his coffee. He's doing things while he's doing the show. And it just makes me smile, the different background noise that we get. The height of professionalism here on Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I hope you expect nothing less. But yeah, that made me happy. You know, it's I don't know if you guys have long-term friends that you've been wrestling buds for a while, but it's something just so nice, especially when you have that like nostalgia of stuff that you remember hanging out and watching together. It's a special thing, and that's what I'm trying to do. With this podcast, that's what I'm trying to do with you guys. I'm trying to share that. Trying to make you part of it. You guys, you are my wrestling buddies. So again, if you ever wanna send a message, you ever wanna tell me what you've been watching, if you ever wanna send me like an audio grab of something that you think might be relevant, I might just chuck it on the podcast. I don't know. We'll see what's up. Anyway, I'm grateful, even if you guys just want to listen to this and feel part of it that way. That's pretty darn cool too. But I'd like to say a big thank you again to you, for everyone who's listened to this, who after our bit of a break, who came back and was like, you know what, I actually want that in my life again. You didn't have that break yet. Like, yeah, I'm done. But yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate Social Suplex. They give me the platform to do this show. Socialsuplex.com, home to this podcast and a variety of other rad wrestling podcasts. From One Nation Radio to Keeping It Strong Style, Trish and Sarah podcast, All Things Elite, Imp's WWE Adventure, Tunnel Talk, I think there's another all AEW match recommendation thing now. There's a lot of things. I can't keep track of it. But there's things there. Thanks, Social Suplex. Appreciate it. And yeah, again, thank you to everyone who supports me, who supports this show, who even just liking and commenting and stuff on Instagram, so nice. But yeah, the people that like spend their money to support me blows me away, and it's just so nice. And yeah, it keeps me doing it. So thank you, appreciate it, and again, thank you to everyone who's pre-ordered the book. If anyone else is like, hey, damn, that's a book I want to get my hands on, christhings.com.au, jump on the website, you can get it on there. You can also get all of the Chris Things art prints, some originals. I do have a new calendar for 2025 that I haven't actually put up there yet, but that's on my to-do list. And yeah, all the things. So I think that's the end of the show here. The wheels have fallen off, and I am tired, and I have a whole another match of the week to do. So I think I'm going to call it a day. Thank you so much, and farewell.